You're most likely already caught up to speed on the entire Ricky Pearsall situation, so we're good to go with what has happened already. We're getting some new information out of 49ers headquarters about how I think the situation was handled with Ricky getting shot on the same day that the 49ers had their team party. Obviously, you've probably already seen all the videos and photos of Rick Ross being there and everything that went into it. But it was also met with a lot of backlash, I think, because even though we did hear reports from Matt Mayoko that John Lynch had visited Pearsall in the hospital that night, there was a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, there was some backlash about, well, why would you not cancel this party? Why would you keep it going? This, that, and the other thing. People were like making it a big deal. And so you have this from Matt Mayoko right here, where he says from the hospital, Ricky Pearsall got on a FaceTime with his 49ers teammates at the team party on Saturday night. So this party was at Kyle Shanahan's house. And so, again, I think if the situation was significantly more dire, I think if it was much more serious, absolutely they would have canceled the party. Absolutely. They would have just scrapped whatever that was, and there's bigger fish. There's not bigger fish to fry, but there's bigger, more important things to worry about, like Ricky Pearsall. But as we know, he walked to the ambulance, he didn't require surgery, and he was out of the hospital in less than 24 hours. So I can guarantee you the decision to keep the party going had all of that information. And I also would go out on a limb and say that Ricky probably wouldn't want the 49ers to cancel this function. Um, Basically, amidst this situation, uh, if he was going to be okay. I just don't see that as like Ricky comes across to me as a really humble guy. He doesn't seem like, well, why wouldn't you guys all come? I think he's understands. I would assume, and again, I'm assuming I don't know Ricky personally, but I would assume that based on hearing him speak, he's a very smart young man that he would be able to understand, like, guys, I'm going to be okay. I'm probably going to get out of here tomorrow. Go have your party. I'll be good. They FaceTimed. John Lynch checked on them. They had all the pertinent information that they needed in order to make that decision to continue the party and feel comfortable about it. So I think, again, that's obviously a different scenario if there was more serious things at play here. But because of the miracle of Ricky getting shot in the chest and walking out of the hospital less than 24 hours, that's probably a pretty strong indication of why they kept the party going. And so I just think, like, I can understand how some people might have that gut reaction immediately of like, how could they keep the party going? This was such a tragic event, stop everything to make sure Ricky's okay. But based on everything that we're gathering and understanding, it sounds like Ricky was okay. It sounds like he was fine. And with that, I just think that it provides an important level of context for the situation. And again, it's like we can have our feelings about it, but it is also important to not to project onto these people that we're not in their shoes. We are not in those circumstances. We can always evaluate something through our perspective, but it's important. You have to try to put yourself in their shoes. You have to put yourself in their perspective. And so I think if you do that and you can kind of understand the circumstances, that it made sense to keep the party going. It made sense to not end the night. Like, I guarantee you Ricky's probably like, "Man, don't end this because of me. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm gonna survive. I'll be out of here tomorrow. Go rock, go have a good time." Um, but man, I can only imagine the respect levels, how these guys are looking at him right now. They're probably all right, Rook. All right, everyone's big and bad, right? Until you got a bullet wound in you, and then that changes everything. And based on how we saw and how Ricky handled it, based on the firsthand accounts of the officer on hand, who was there to provide aid immediately, Sergeant Joelle Harrell. Congratulations to her. And again, she talked through the situation about how she was just really trying to get him to calm down. And you saw the video of him walking, to the ambulance. So by all indications and by all accounts, Ricky seemed like he was in a good enough place to allow this to keep on going. So the point being is, I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. Um, I guess I'm curious to know if you guys think it's a big deal, but I think understanding and having all the information changes that. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.